Yep. That's cute. Mine doesn't have a tongue depressor.
What's our group claim number? Is it on our card? I'm nervous, you guys.
I can't understand why we're having, I don't know what this
Like I
has to do
thought-
with church.
I thought people got this when they were like 40.
You guys haven't had this done before then?
No. Have you?
No.
Good.
I mean, it must be pretty important or he wouldn't ask the whole staff to do it. So let's just, I mean, from people I've heard that have gotten it, it's not that big a deal. You just gotta.
And my dad got one a little bit ago, so. Should I say I'm allergic to guacamole? Does that have anything to do with this?
Just to be safe, I would. You never know.
Okay, yeah. Maybe it may be like one of those things you can do it once and then like it lasts for like 10 years, like a, chicken pox shot or something.
Yeah.
All right, who's going first? I'm gonna figure this
I'm
out.
going first.
1, 2, 3.
Ah!
What is that?
What is that?
Paper.
That's not it.
So
What?
Caleb wins.
I won.
Why?
Because he's paper.
Paper.
Paper covers rock.
Oh, dude, rock smashes right through paper.
No, it doesn't.
It does.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, I think
You're-
it does.
It does?
Think about it.
So what beats rock?
Nothing.
A little higher. Yeah, that's right there.
Mark? Hey, how are you today?
Email from Chris. Be sure to have your information in for your annual report.
What's that?
Be sure to have your information in for your annual report by Tuesday.
Isn't that what we're doing?
No, annual, like yearly.
We should go.
Did you get the email?
Just go. Eli, how are we? We're going to talk some today about an annual report, not to be confused with another kind of report that hurts a little bit more, okay, and that you don't talk about publicly usually, okay? So you might have gotten one of these when you came in at all of our campuses. You can grab it here. We're going to go through this for just a second. I want to welcome those of you watching via video at any of our West Texas campuses or church online or on TV. We're glad that you're joining with us today as well. It's going to be fun today. It's going to be really different today in the message. This is going to be I'm calling this like a family meeting, okay? It's like a family meeting. I don't know if you guys had like family meetings growing up. You know what I'm talking about? Like family meetings. Like sometimes you get together to family meeting, like review the previous year. You get together to set some family goals, right? Or you get together because somebody was in trouble, okay? That was our family meeting. Some people had devotionals as a family. We didn't have many family meetings, but when we got together, it was not usually a good thing, okay? Usually it's my dad calling the family meeting. It's like, we got a family meeting. Show up in the den in like 5 minutes. You're in trouble. So we like go in there, okay? And usually it's because me and my sister have been fighting or something, or we're like disrespecting my mom during the day, and he sits us down. He's like, here's the thing, kids. Y'all listen to me. It's my dad. Here's the thing. Y'all better respect your mom. You better listen to your mom. Or if she calls me during the day when I'm at work, I will come home from work, and you will not like what happens once I get there. That's kind of like the family meetings. You know about those. Sometimes it's because I was getting in trouble because here's the thing, and this, I'm sure this will surprise you. But growing up, I loved like professional, my dad told me it was fake wrestling. Okay, you know what I'm talking about? Like WCW. Okay, I watched this growing up. Like WWF, and I watched the moves like the leg locks and the suplexes and stuff. And so I needed somebody to practice on, right? Because I wanted to learn these moves. Guys think I could be a professional wrestler because that's just how I'm built. And so I go into my sister's room and I say, hey, Kimbo, come here. Kimberly's her name. Kimbo, come here. Hey, you got to try something out on you. And like I'd wrap my arms around her and like on her bed, I'd like suplex her and she'd hurt her neck. So my dad was like, you want me to suplex you? Let's go, right? Okay, we have family meetings, talk about that. You can't be doing, Ric Flair moves on your sister, Sting, Stone Cold. Y'all tracking? Some of y'all are like, what were you watching? So anyways, I think it's called WWE these days. Anyway, so we have family meetings. We all have family meetings. We have a family meeting, here today. And it's not a bad meeting. It's not nobody's in trouble, okay, like our meeting. It's a good meeting. And what we like to do each year is just look back on the previous year and celebrate all that God has done. Because at Experience Life, we want you to know what's happening here. We want you to know what we're bringing in, where the money's going, what we're focusing on as a church. We want you to be in the know. We want to be transparent with you about it. So I'm going to talk some about it today. Now, here's a cool thing. If you're a guest, if you're here for the first time, this is a good weekend to come because you get a pass, okay? Like you can just listen in, you can critique this, you can make fun of us, okay? This is like how a church works, okay? So you can like listen in, you get a free pass, and you can be like, y'all are funny, okay? So that's cool, that's cool. But we're gonna look through this for a minute. You're gonna love it, got some cool stories. We're gonna have some fun in our family meeting. You guys cool with the family meeting today? Can we do a family meeting? Like as long as nobody's getting spanked, okay? No spankings up in here. So nobody's in trouble. This is a good one. Let me show you a verse. We'll get into it. Show you a verse. Acts 1:8, Jesus about to ascend into heaven. He tells his followers, this is what the church is supposed to be about. This is what you need to devote your lives to. This is what he told them. He says, you guys, here's the thing. You're going to receive power. They're like, am I going to fly? Like this is going to be sweet. Power to do what? See, power when the Holy Spirit comes upon you. You guys are going to be my witnesses. Here's what that means. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to tell people about me everywhere. In Jerusalem, like your town, your hometown. Throughout Judea, in your region. In Samaria, in the region next door. And to the ends of the earth. He's saying, here's what you need to focus on. In church, this is for us too. This is why the church exists. This is what we're supposed to be doing. He's saying, you're going to receive power. Holy Spirit comes upon you. All of us receive that power when we put our faith in Jesus. Holy Spirit comes on us. He said the reason for the power, the point of the power, is to become witnesses. What is a witness? He said, it's telling people about me everywhere. So here's what I want to tell you today, kind of before we even get into the family meeting, is that the reason this church exists, the reason every church exists, should be to tell people about Jesus. Introduce them to Jesus for the first time, then once they know Jesus, help them to follow Jesus, be on fire for Jesus. So as we go through these numbers and we have this family meeting and talk about what was so exciting about 2012, I want you to know that's what we have in mind. This should be pointing to the fact that as a church, we're trying to be witnesses in our town, in our region, and regions around our region, and to the very ends of the earth. So why don't you pull this out real quick? This is going to be fun. Isn't this cool looking? We got some good graphic designers around here making this stuff. This is cool looking. But look in here, let me go through just some of these with you, explain it to you. And again, this is kind of like reviewing the previous year. The reason we're doing this in May, you're like 2012, when was that? Was that a while? It's a couple months. Because we do an audit each year. I'm going to talk about it in a minute. It takes a little while to get the financial statements together, and so that's why we don't have the information finalized until now. Top left corner here says contributions. Check this out. From 2011 to 2012, contributions at our church went up 23%. Okay, that's pretty awesome. 23%. There's some different statistics on here about number of people given, first time, people that take the tithe challenge. If you look there in the pie chart, down a little bit and to the right, where does the money go? This is so important, and people ask me this all the time, and again, if you're a guest, you're kind of listening in on this would be interesting to you too. People want to know, hey, when I give somewhere, where does the money go? I'm telling you, that's a good question to ask. Me and my wife give to places other than our church. We want to know where the money's going. So we got a little pie chart for you here. You can see this is for 2012 where the money went. If you want more details, again, totally transparent, you can call our finance department. We'll tell you. But here's what I love. 2012, you guys gave away, our church gave away 15% of everything that came in here, 2012. That's high. Compared to other churches, about double what the average church gives away. 31% went to new campus development. Here's what I love about this, and to me, this is so wise, and I appreciate our board of elders and our CFO and our staff helping us to get to this point. But that 31% is like savings. Now think about this personal income, okay? We're giving away 15%. Imagine giving away 15% of your income. That'd be pretty awesome. It's pretty generous. We're saving like 31% so that we don't go into a lot of debt when we build a building or we take on a new project. A lot of this money this 31% was able to go to the new construction for our Southwest campus. 7% there, central services. You can see the list there of what those things are, office supplies, things around the office, administrative expenses. And then 47%, the money last year went to campus ministries. This is personnel. This is anything that happens at a campus, supplies for a campus. That's what it looks like. And so what I want to point out is just that at Experience Life, you're getting to be a part of a church that's being very generous, trying to increase in generosity. And that 15% is going up to 16%, 2013, and a church that's saving money. A church that, can you imagine in your own, you get a check each month, can you imagine saving 31% of it? Be like, yeah, well, not anytime soon. Hopefully though, okay? So you're a church where we're trying to be fiscally very conservative. If you flip over to the back, the very back, looks like this. You'll see a little symbol says ECFA on there, E-C-F-A. This is kind of cool. Look at what it says there. This is an accreditation. We're one of only 2 churches in this region, Lubbock and Amarillo, that even have this. But look at the top there. All of our financial records are audited annually, each year, by an outside CPA firm. And here's why we do this, and this is expensive, but we do it, because we want to, at Experience Life, be good managers of God's money. So we want to be held to very high standards. We want to have a lot of accountability measures in place. So we bring in an auditor. Some of you business world, you get auditing and you don't like it. I understand that. We bring in an auditor to look at our financial statements, give us recommendations, give a report to our board. I think it's a very wise thing to do when we hold ourselves to high standards, because we want you to feel like, and I want to feel like, when I give to this church, I'm giving to a place that's managing God's money well. And again, if you look there, you have to have this audit to get this ECFA certification. And this is just a group of people, Evangelical Council of Financial Accountability, that holds us to some high financial standards. So I think that's pretty awesome. So that's on the giving side of things. Want you to see what happened last year in terms of where the money went. If you turn back here in the middle again, center column here. Volunteers, baptisms, commitments. Look at some of these things from 2012. This is awesome. 22%. Increase in volunteers in 2012 over 2011. More people getting in the game. You can see the number there. That's only about 25% though of the entire church. So about 1 in 4 people are volunteering at the church, but we're seeing a good trend up, 22%. I'm telling you, I say this a lot. We could not do this, what we do at eLife. It wouldn't happen without those of you that volunteer. I mean, it doesn't happen. It's just so amazing to see people in the lobby volunteering, people in our kids ministry volunteering. Those are the folks that are making this happen. You come and you sit in here and you watch and you're like, oh, it's cool. I bet they're paying some people to do this. No, our paid staff couldn't do it all by themselves. You guys are a part of it. And it's just totally cool to watch God work through our volunteers. Now, I want to recognize one volunteer. And this guy has been with us for a long time. He doesn't know I'm fixing to call him out, so he's probably fixing to turn red and get embarrassed, okay? But I want to recognize this guy because we wouldn't be where we're at right now as a church without him. He's been here since almost the very beginning. And since he started coming, he basically started volunteering the whole weekend, Saturdays and Sundays. And he works in our media area. His name's Josh Robinson. Some of you know him. But one thing, yeah, you can clap for him. Let me tell you more about him, and then you're really going to clap here in a second, okay? But he works like the whole weekend. We try to get him, hey, let us pay you for some of this. Won't let us pay him. Hey, let us give you something. Won't let us give him anything. And here's what he's in charge of. Like, he's in charge of all the stuff that really ends up mattering so that people can hear this message. Like, if you're watching me on video right now, it's because he's on a headset talking to a camera guy that's right in front of me. I'm looking into the lens here, and he's making sure that the camera's on me so that you can see it somewhere on TV, church online, at one of our campuses. And then if I walk over to this side, see, there's cues. If I walk over to this side and I look in this direction, then he tells this person over here, hey, you got to put it on him, and then look in the lens here. And so all these things are happening behind the scenes, and they wouldn't happen without Josh. And we're so thankful for him and all that he's done at Experience Life, and all of our volunteers as well. And here's the thing. I would have him come up here. And recognize him, but if I did, I'd walk off the screen. Probably everything would break in the back. Okay, so we're going to let him continue to do what he does because he's awesome at it. And I'm also thankful that at our campuses where you're seeing me or on TV, that he kind of makes me look bigger than I actually am. Okay, I like this. Let me tell you why. Because I see people in public. Okay, I see them in public. And they'll say, because they're kind of confused at first, they'll say, hey, are you that pastor at Experience Life? I'm like, yes, hey, I'm Chris, good to meet you. And they're like, I always say this, you look a lot different in person. Now, they're not going to be honest with me, but here's what they mean. Like, in person, they want to say, Chris, you are puny and small and tiny, but up on that screen, you look really big and buff. I hope it's what they're thinking, stuff like that. But in person, you just look small, so it makes me look big, so I appreciate that. That means a lot to me. And so that's great, but it keeps the cameras on me. And, if I were to do this, then he gets really upset because then I run off the screen. He starts throwing stuff in the back and stuff like that. So would y'all thank Josh for all he does at Experience Life? If I start running up here, I get in trouble. So Anyways, there's a lot of people like him at Experience Life, and it doesn't happen without our volunteers, and so we love seeing this increase in numbers. Look at baptisms and commitments. Just look at that for a second. Just look it over. Tell me that isn't absolutely amazing. Look at 2012 numbers, and then you can see some totals since the church started. From 2007 to 2012, we baptized 2,890 people, seen 4,977 people commit their lives to Jesus. Is that just me, or is that unbelievably awesome? And this is why I wanted to take a whole message to talk about this, because you need to go home and like frame this, okay? You need to frame it. You need to put it on your refrigerator. Tell your friends about this, because you were a part of this. If you prayed, gave, served 2012, you're like, well, maybe I wasted my year 2012. I don't know if I accomplished anything big. Oh my gosh, look at what you did. You and Jesus. Look at what you did. This is you. You should, hey, look at what I got to be a part of. 2012. That's awesome. Look over here on the right. Some cool statistics over here. 2012, we gave away 4,500 blue Bibles, okay? Those cost us about $2 a piece. We think it's a great investment. And here's what's cool. They're not blue anymore. I don't know if you've seen this. We ordered so many of those over the last couple of years. The publisher was like, we'll make you your own if you'd like. We're like, heck yeah, baby. And so we like give them this graphic. And now we got this yellow one. Y'all seen this? Are these cool? Have y'all seen these? Like, got our name on it. People like, did Experience Life write a Bible? No, we didn't write one. Okay, this is just on the cover. Okay, it's the same as the blue one. All right. Same as the blue one. On the cover, it's got some next steps on the inside, a letter from us on the inside. But here's what I love about these. People take them. You take them. Sometimes people give them to their friends. And people open this, and we hear all the time people say, for the first time in my life, I understood the Bible as I read it. Heard a story just this last week. A teacher in schools here in town. A student had come up to him, said to him, hey, I think obviously the student somehow knew that he was a follower of Jesus, and said, hey, teacher, I've never had my own Bible. I'd like one. Do you think you could get me one? Teacher was like, goes to Experience Life, like, oh, Eli, they give out free Bibles. Yeah, I'll get him one. So he gets him a Bible, and he hands it to him, because the student initiated this. The student asked for it. Gives him one of these, and the teacher was posted on Facebook this week that the student's been taking this Bible, has been clinging to it because it's the first Bible he's ever owned. And there in his class, he sits with this teacher. The teacher says he's starting to read the Bible during the breaks he has in class. Hopefully it's during breaks. Okay, hopefully it's not during the talk. During the breaks in class, and he said, and sometimes he'll whisper it out loud as he reads it so that other people can hear. A Bible in an easy to understand translation. Can I ask you a question? How many of you guys would say you've gotten one of these, a blue one or the yellow one, and you read it and you thought, hey, it really makes sense and I'm understanding the Bible maybe for the first time in my life? Can I see your hands? Because I know it's a lot of you. Yeah, I'm so glad. I'm so glad. It's such an easy to understand translation. We love it. And I'm sorry maybe for experiences you had in the past where pastors like myself have recommended you get a translation of the Bible that you can't understand. To me, that's a tragedy. So hope you continue to enjoy these. Gave away 4,500. Look below that. Look how many pens we gave away. Some of y'all taking some pens every time you come here. I guarantee 50,000 pens. Some of y'all get like hundreds of them at home, okay? Like, anyways. And so 50,000 pens. That's good. Okay, that's good. That's not free for you. Costs us some money. That's okay. You know, it's good advertising. You know, I see them all over the place. But love about the pens, they have they look like this. I'll have them in your chairs. They have our website on them. Listen to this. Listen to this story. So there's this guy in our church, and he'll take, I think, one or two of these with him when he leaves. He doesn't get 30. Okay, he just takes a couple. He says he travels around this region. Anytime he's traveling, he usually has to stop by a Walmart because that's where he gets supplies, I think, for what he does. And he told me one day, he'll take this pen in, and he'll fill out his check with this pen. And then he'll just ask the cashier, hey, do you need another pen? Well, how many cashiers need more pens? Like all of them, right? So he says every time he asks that, the person will say, yeah, I'd love another pen. And then he'll say to him, hey, there's a website on there. If you ever want to hear a preacher that doesn't preach at you, and if you ever have questions about God, just go to the website, and maybe some of your questions will be answered. So she said, okay, great. Gave it to this lady. A couple of months later, he was back in that same place. He was at that same Walmart checking out again. She said, hey, are you the guy that a couple months ago gave me one of these pens? He said, yeah, sometimes when I'm out in the store or whatever, I'll give somebody a pen. He said, yeah, she didn't, kind of recognize him. I don't think he recognized her. But she said, are you the one that gave me the pens? He said, well, I give them out, so yeah, it was probably me. She said, you told me to go to that website. I went to that website. I listened to some of the messages. My life was totally changed by God, and now I'm involved in a local church in my town. How cool is that? What? It's a pen, all right? Let's give out 100,000 this year. Don't tell anybody on staff that's in charge of finances. Okay, 50,000 pens. There's some other statistics on the side. Look at these with chairs, cool stuff, people inviting their friends. Look at the bottom. 60, the great part. Look at this. We did a survey this year to find this out. But 61% of E-Lifers say they were disconnected from church before coming to E-Life. Here's what's great about this. Anytime you start a church, you're not starting a church hoping people from other churches come to your church and you just steal from other pastors in town. That's not what you're hoping. You hope when you start a church to connect with people, right, that aren't actively going to a church, that haven't connected to a church. So just so you know, when we did this survey, there was 20-something% of the people that didn't even fill it out. So this number would probably be higher. They're probably unsure, so they didn't want to fill out the survey, didn't feel comfortable. But 61% of the people that filled out the survey said before coming to Experience Life, they were not regularly attending a church. A majority of the people that filled out the survey. I think that's pretty awesome, and I think that indicates that Experience Life is connecting with people in this community and Amarillo as well, that are not going to church or haven't connected to a church, and we love that. Okay, we gotta keep moving. Bottom middle, LTGs, life transformation groups. We call them that because that's what they do. They change your life. They transform your life. My life was changed in one of these many years ago. But you'll notice last year, 37% increase in groups. Had 159 groups at the end of 2012. You should get involved in one. Those are awesome. Keep going to the left, at the bottom. For the nations, short-term trips got on there. To the left of that, for the city, volunteering thousands of hours in 2012 in our different cities. Through Servolution, Pack the Pack, Christmas for the City. Awesome what happened 2012 through these volunteering and serving initiatives. Okay, flip over one page here to where the 2012 all comes up. It says gatherings. You got gatherings. There's some statistics there. Average in worship, average for Easter, prayer. The bottom there you see about our youth ministry. I'm telling you, if you have a student, youth age, middle school, high school, is not involved in our youth ministry, you need to hook them up with our youth ministry. It is awesome, okay? I just got through doing a series with the youth on Wednesday nights, meet once a month on Wednesday nights, every week in groups, called Hooking Up, where I answered teenagers' questions about love, sex, and dating. You don't even want to know some of the questions that they asked about love, sex, and dating. But you know me, I take crazy questions, okay? So we took their questions. Our youth ministry is fantastic. You should get involved in that for sure. So take this home. You can look over it, frame it, put it on your fridge. But those of you that prayed, served, gave 2012, you got to be a part of this. Anybody besides me think this is pretty cool that we got to be a part of this in 2012? Amazing. Okay, 3 challenges, I'll be done. 3 challenges, 2013. We want this year to be our best year yet. Want to see even greater things, what we saw in 2012. First is this, attend a prayer gathering if you're not already. We believe at Experience Life in the power of prayer. We do. We believe great things happen on the weekend, in our groups, in our youth ministry, and so on, because people get together and they pray. We want you to join us. We got prayer meetings Sunday night, Amarillo, Monday night, Southwest Campus, Tuesday night, downtown campus. Why don't you come? Why don't you come and pray that God would do even greater things 2013 than he did 2012. Look at the second one. Either start volunteering as a challenge or continue volunteering 2013. Sometimes in the lobby, I get to hang out after the services. A volunteer will come up to me and say, Chris, thank you so much for what you do. And I'm like, whoa. Here's the thing. I wouldn't get to do what I do if you didn't do what you do. I wouldn't get to be up here speaking to people, whatever, if you weren't actively volunteering. No, thank you for what you do because of what you do, I get to do what I do. Like we're all in this together. That's why the volunteer, the greeter, the kids person, the media person, just as important as what I do. People look up here and they watch me or whatever, but I couldn't even do this if it wasn't for all of our volunteers. So would you start volunteering if you're not already? Would you consider getting in the game? And then if you're already volunteering, would you continue to pray that God would give you a greater passion to be involved in the local church, which is the hope of the world, and serving children, shaking somebody's hand, setting up whatever it is God calls you to do? Would you plug in? Because in 2013, it's not going to be as great or even greater than 2012 if we don't have people volunteering. We don't have people in the game. And here's what we see sometimes. You come, you hear a message like this one, and you sign up. You get a card. You sign up. I'm a volunteer. But then a majority of people, by Tuesday of the following week, they're like, I was just kidding about that. I was just kidding. See, here's the thing. On the weekend, I was convicted, so I checked that box. But when you called me, I didn't answer. And when you told me about the training, I didn't show up because now I'm not feeling it anymore. I was feeling it on the weekend. I'm not feeling it anymore. Here's what we need. We don't need people to just sign up. We need people to show up, okay? We need people to say, hey, yeah, I'm going to get in the game, and I'm going to come. So 2013, why wouldn't you get involved? You get to be a part of this. You know, you want to invest your life in the course of a year in some stuff that absolutely matters for all of eternity? We're going to put another one of these out next year. Why don't you be a part of it? Why don't you be a part of it? One more. Start giving if you haven't already, or continue giving. Start or continue giving. And here's what you got to know. We were talking about giving a minute ago and the contributions to our church. If you look at an average church of our size, our giving compared to an average church of our size is about half. So an average church of our size in our country gives almost twice as much as we do. And I don't know about you. I don't think we're an average church. I think we're above average church. And I think there's a couple reasons this happens. And we're okay with some of these reasons. Number one, we don't pass an offering plate. You know that. I've had friends tell me before, hey, part of the problem, part of the reason you're at half of what most people are at is because you don't pass an offering plate. You should do that. I'm like, no, we're not going to do that because we don't want to pressure people to give. We'll talk about it like I'm doing now. We'll challenge people, but we're not going to pass the gold plate with the velvet on the inside, okay, and make people feel bad when they pass it down the road. We don't put anything in it. We're not going to do that. Sorry. And we think that God will compel people to give. We don't have to pass a plate. So that may be one reason. I think a second reason, though, is that we got a lot of people that come to Experience Life that aren't following Jesus yet. And we're glad they're here. We've got people coming and just checking this thing out. They wouldn't call themselves Christians. They're not even sure about the church or Jesus or anything. They're just coming and checking it out. And so you can't expect somebody who doesn't follow Jesus to have a generous heart like Jesus has. You can't expect that. But here's what we know. As we continue to share the gospel and encourage more people to follow Jesus, we know that more people are going to become generous like Jesus. We know that God's going to take care of us through the generosity of people in His church that follows Jesus. So we know it's just really a matter of time. And we want to welcome people at our church that don't want to give or not into it, not even sure about it. We want them to come and we want them to enjoy the experience. But for those of you that are followers of Jesus, hopefully Jesus was generous. Hopefully you have a heart like Him. We're supposed to for followers of Jesus. So maybe you need to start or continue giving. And I think, and this I'm not telling you, this is true for me because we have invest, my wife and I, a lot in our local church, have for a long time. I think giving to advance the gospel and help the poor is one of the greatest uses of the money that God's given you. We sometimes don't know that, but Jesus said it's more blessed to what? Give than it is to receive. You're happier when you give than receive. A lot of us haven't experienced that because we're not really givers. But once you start giving and you start increasing the percentage of your income you give away, you start going, man, where's all this joy coming from? Well, Jesus said, it's more blessed to give than to receive. Now, one more thing and I'm done. If you're interested in any of these things, we have connection cards. They look like this. And you can just check, I want to volunteer, and check the option here. I want to start tithing, you can check that. I want to get involved in prayer gathering, check that. Take these cards to the back at all of our campuses, and you can drop them in a box on the way out. You can drop it by the Next Step Center, and we'll contact you. Get you involved in volunteering, give you more information about giving, whatever you want to know. Get you involved in a prayer gathering. Thanks for checking out one of our messages today. For more information about our church or to watch other messages, you can go to our website at experiencelifenow.com. Let us know if we can serve you in any way, and we hope to see you real soon.